Hi, and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy Sunday to join me. I really do appreciate that. Tonight, we're talking about Cool Kicks and Hell's Kitchen, alright? So, nothing too serious, nor nothing too special, Just a normal night here in my world, just kind of hanging out, you feel me? Hope that you guys have had a wonderful weekend. Tomorrow I have to work, so that's exciting. Does anyone else want to know any more intimate details about my personal life at this current juncture? I say this because I'm an open book, right? Everyone knows that, you feel me? It may have taken me a long time to not republish the nearly 800 videos that are still right below my own little finger, you feel me? On like my YouTube page or whatever. But it's all good. It takes me a really long time to do stuff. And, I almost feel like once I start doing it, it goes by really quick. And that's always a good thing. And isn't it always funny to look at yourself while you're talking and your left eye is just doing things you're not sure about, you feel me? Anyways, tonight, okay, I want to talk about cool kicks. Alright, so here's the thing. And I know I said that we weren't going to talk about anything too serious, but, like, it really bothers me when federal authorities and or agencies and or, just, like, the government, I guess, in and of itself. So, like, when they're able to solve crimes so quickly, when they want to, right? So, recently, a few months ago, I think, I'm not quite sure when it happened, but Nike was shipping a bunch of shoes on some trains, and they were robbed, you feel me? And apparently, it was like a crazy robbery. There was like all kinds of Nike shoes stolen, you feel me? Again, common sense would dictate to you that, like, stealing that kind of a product probably isn't going to end well. At least not in the volume that they stole it, right? Just because, like, it's Nike, I'm sure they keep track of their stuff real well. And moreover, it's funny because all that I'm saying is that while the CEO of Cool Kicks has been arrested and no formal charges have been filed against him currently, so far as I know, I do know that a lot of effort was put forth into investigating and finding out who the culprits were in this theft ring or whatever. Kind of as more stuff comes out, we'll be discussing that in our closed circles or maybe hear a little bit more on the channel. I just think it's interesting when the government is able to prioritize retail theft over something like the Epstein files. You know what I mean? It's just like, and I always say this, priorities. And that's just kind of where I'm at, right? It's just sort of like there's all kinds of stuff, all different kinds of a plethora, probably an endless plethora of information that could benefit United States of American citizens, constituents, just all people, kind of, all sentient Homo sapiens that are currently living in this world where we need not lack, you feel me, for like much, right? Maybe, we could work on our parasocial relationships and work on being a part of the community again, you feel me, those little things and stuff. But it's really hard to do those things when people are either super rich or like super poor. And I say all of these things, right, just because, like, the Cool Kicks guy, I just don't understand. This was like a joint effort put forth by like a bunch of different agencies, and all I'm saying is that can't all government officials be just that focused on making it so that politicians aren't corrupt, or so that law enforcement and or these very said agents in these agencies and or are also not corrupt. You feel me? Like that's all that I'm saying. I'm just saying that, like, we could be, and then there's like child abuse, right? As in like child forced slavery and stuff, with like cocoa beans and stuff all over the world, and it's primarily where we get most of our chocolate from. I'm just saying that there are other priorities, and it's really unfortunate that not that, like, the guy got caught, right? And again, I'm not saying that, like, those things are good. The Cool Kicks guy was I mean, it is what it is. You feel me? I don't know if they're gonna have a lot of direct evidence, linking that particular event to this guy. It sounds like this guy just bought a bunch of stolen stuff. You feel me? Whether or not he knew it was stolen or not, again, is a hard thing to prove in the court of law. I mean, just in case you're wondering, unless there's irrefutable evidence as to, the CEO dude, the Cool Kicks guy, legitimately knowing, about how he was obtaining these products. It's just so interesting, again, that those kinds of things are prioritized, and not to say that they shouldn't be a priority. Listen, so far as like private stuff goes, private ownership and things like that go, and as my own personal side quest, little sidebar here to clarify anything that I may have said, I enjoy collecting, and I enjoy reselling authentic products. All that I'm saying is that I'm super anti-fraud. I'm very anti-counterfeit, you feel me? And definitely anti-stealing from corporations so that you can resell them and so that I'm sure you can be caught almost immediately. I mean, again, these shoes are probably fit with like some type of digital AirTag at this point. I mean, let's not kid ourselves, right? And so that's all that I'm saying in that way, is just that we can reprioritize how we deal with different kinds of things. And I just feel like if we put all of this much energy into like closing this case on up, or opening it up rather, or whatever it is, then we could definitely like dedicate a lot more energy to solving a lot more pertinent social issues that impact us on the daily. Again, I hate counterfeit products. Like, no offense, you feel me? Like, if you're a fan of bootleg or counterfeit, and again, there's a small part of me that enjoys vintage bootleg stuff, but like, we're talking about things that are authentic bootleg stuff, I guess, at this point. I guess the big example of that would be like the old concert, like Tupac t-shirts and Aaliyah t-shirts that were never licensed, but to this day, collectors go out and seek them, and they're like $400 or $500, you feel me? A lot of those No Limit t-shirts. I know a lot about clothes, I'm really sorry. I've been to a flea market or two as well, and all while in big cities, bootlegging was definitely a problem. In New York City, for example, it was like an entire industry, and again, this was like out in the open. I mean, this is something that happens like on the steps of the subway, or it used to, right? Like 25 years ago, because like I'm an old guy now or whatever. And so all that I'm saying is that I don't like counterfeit products. I don't like any of that kind of behavior, and it's definitely shady when, I mean, again, it goes without saying too that the CEO that bought all this stuff, right? I mean, like without a reasonable doubt, I mean, in terms of just like being level-headed, you'd think that you'd want to know where those amounts of shoes came from and stuff, you know what I mean? But again, it's plausible deniability, and when you're doing something like that and you're involved with that many kind of different shoes and stuff, anyways, I just think it's interesting. And I've been watching a lot of videos about the Cool Kicks thing, and I as a reseller, and somebody who sold shoes, I've definitely sold a pair of shoes or two before on the internet. I've definitely bought a pair of dozen or shoes on the internet in my day, you feel me? And so it's just interesting to see, again, just like how magically and how easily crime is solved, and how easily crime can be prevented, and how easily one can be held accountable for committing crime, you feel me? Now again, it blows my mind that we can irrefutably, kind of solve all these retail arbitrage or retail fraud cases, but then like it takes the entire government and all of its partners across the world to continue to cover things up, like the Epstein files, and have uncomfortable conversations like the rug pulls that our fascist president continues to pull. You feel me? Like, again, talk about mad financial high crimes. Like, people, the Hawk Tuah girl, like, I'm pretty sure she's gonna get in trouble for her rug pull. I mean, I guess maybe not. I don't know if the fascist is running the presidency. And I just, at 4:50 on Friday night, seriously, give me a break, dude. Like, it's insane. What it is it's insane. it is more than just arguably criminal. That is, in fact, high finance crime. So I know that was a quick sidebar. I'm just reminding all of my lovely friends out there that there's a fascist lead in this country, and currently at 4:52 on Friday, well, on a holiday weekend, okay, right? So the stock market, you can't do anything at all about anything until Tuesday morning. It's so like open. It's so like transparent. You feel me? It's so like easily read at this point that like it's funny. At this point, what else can you do? If you don't laugh, you're crying. You feel me? But either way, you're filling out the full range of human emotion, and I applaud you for that. Unfortunately, it does nothing to curb the current criminal enterprise that continues to dilute and pollute the democracy that we've all been sold, that we're trying to continue to sell. It's hard to continue to sell something when like you're asking somebody to sell lemonade and you're giving them tea. You feel me? Like, I'm just saying, like, is that like a saying? Somebody say that or something? Because like that's what's happening, right? It's not just low grade lemonade. At least in the past, you feel me? Even just like when old man Biden was there, they were still giving us like a little bit of water with like a little bit of lemon juice in it, you feel me? And now it's just like a completely different product, and they're just like, sell that, my guy. And it's really hard to sell something that is not what it is that you're trying to sell, if that makes sense. You feel me? But what would I know? I know nothing. All right, I'm getting out of character now. Hey, listen, guys, I really appreciate you watching my show and my videos, all of them, and supporting me in and out of my personal life and my professional life and all those other wonderful things. This past weekend was pretty fun. We were able to hang out with a couple of friends, and made the video yesterday about friends, and last night I got to hang out with a handful of them for a little while. So cool stuff. What a loser. I'm over here talking like, honestly though, I have to blow my nose too, and these things happen. So I think I'm gonna end this video. But it was all, it's been always a pleasure. You feel me? I mean, you guys are just gonna miss 3 or 4 minutes of me self-deprecating at this point here, because I can't continue to talk without correcting this whole nasal situation that I got going on. Shout out to that girl who I think got me sick last week. You feel me? I'm just saying, like, whatever. I'm not feeling well, or I had not been feeling well, and it was right when I had a little bit of time off of work, so it was always nice to spend the most of my time that I had off work in a long time cooped up in my bed, because I didn't feel really well. If you didn't notice the sarcasm, I'm being a little sarcastic here, because it absolutely sucked. Because these things happen. I gotta go. I hope that you guys have a wonderful night, alright? I'll see you guys either in just a little while, or most likely tomorrow. Alright, bye!